Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
You can't blame it on the weather. People around the area leaving their cars unlocked and running. Easy targets for car thieves. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Valley News Live has learned today that the annual Fargo crime statistics are finished being compiled by police.
After meeting with officers just this morning, we learned that car thefts around the city have risen. Valley News Team's Bradford Eric joins us with more on where the police department is at with all this data. Bradford?
A full breakdown and further analysis of the crime stats can be expected on Friday when the police department expects to release them. While officers wouldn't get into specifics with the report, they say the problem, once again, stems from people leaving their cars unlocked and running outside their home, a business, or their workplace. This issue of car thefts is further confirmed after the PD posted this graphic to their Facebook page this afternoon with the comment, "Nearly half of theft is due to driver error, like leaving the keys in the ignition or leaving doors unlocked." Police say it's a tough crime to combat because it happens so sporadically around the city. They plan to implement a number of new campaigns and policies to help the growing problem. The good news in all of this, however, is that the Fargo PD is putting more badges out on the streets. They tell me 5 new officers were out in the field for the first time just yesterday, and the current training program is maxed out. They actually cannot accept any more potential officers into the program until they get more trainers. And a good portion of those trainers are expected to be ready to go by mid-April at the earliest.
Okay, Bradford, thank you. Now, the Fargo police say the delay in releasing the stats is in part because they want the numbers to be as up-to-date and accurate as possible.
A Minnesota couple is lucky they weren't injured or killed during a drive-by shooting yesterday afternoon. Their trailer home southwest of Bagley was hit by numerous gunshots. Police are asking for your help in locating a red or maroon minivan with a silver or gold-colored driver's side door. It happened at 3:20 yesterday afternoon. A man and a woman were alone in this trailer home when an unknown suspect or suspects in the minivan opened fire on the home with a small caliber weapon. The trailer home was hit by 7 bullets. One of them came very close to one of the home's occupants.
Watching TV.
Okay.
She was doing dishes when they came by and shot.
You have any idea why somebody do that?
No.
Okay. I heard one of the bullets came pretty close to you guys.
Oh, it came close to me. I was sitting right over there.
Byrd and Sheriff Darren Halverson say at this point they don't know what may have motivated the shootings. If you have any information about this case, you're asked to contact the Clearwater County Sheriff's Department. The phone number is 218-694-6226. What a difference in our weather today when the wind finally moved on. Let's go to Hutch Johnson to find out what we can expect in tonight's forecast. Hutch?
Well, we do have those northerly winds, and as is typically the case this time of year, when they're coming from the north, usually cooler air will follow shortly. It's 18 degrees right now, and all but 20-mile-per-hour wind, making it feel like it's near zero. The radar shows that we do have some flakes of snow flying in the central portion of the Dakotas. It's heavy and changes to rain and freezing rain in southwest North Dakota. Travelers to the west, be advised things could be a little slippery. Once you get into Stutsman County, maybe Barnes County, not far from Ariska and Valley City. A wind chill advisory in effect for northern Minnesota, Roseau County, portions of Marshall County as well. Your planner for Fargo, look at this. Temperatures staying in the teens for a bit and then single digits late tonight. Cold air returns. I'll have details on how much you can expect or how long it takes to warm back up here in a moment.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Thanks, Hutch.
The president has vetoed the Keystone Pipeline bill for the 3rd veto of his presidency. Congress sent the bill back to the president's desk today after legislation passed both the House and the Senate. The White House has said the president opposes the bill because it would cut short an ongoing review process of the project by the State Department. Obama has also expressed some skepticism about how many jobs the pipeline would create. Congress could override the veto if they have 2/3 in both the House and the Senate vote to do so.
North Dakota Governor Jack Dalrymple signed a bill into law, making a $1.1 billion investment in state funding immediately available for infrastructure projects and other critical needs, primarily in North Dakota's oil production region. The funding package includes $972 million for oil country and another $128 million for counties and townships outside the state's oil-producing region. Legislative leaders fast-tracked this bill and included in the bill's language an emergency clause to make the $1.1 billion immediately available for appropriation. Without priority action, the funding would not be available until after June 30th as well, and which would be well into the 2015 construction season.
Thousands of North Dakotans' personal information is compromised. It goes back to that security breach that happened at Anthem. Individual and dependent names, addresses, social security numbers, and birth dates were all compromised. Insurance Commissioner Adam Ham said today he was informed by Anthem that more than 27,000 more North Dakotans were directly impacted by its recent data security breach. Anthem will be sending a letter to anyone affected, so people should closely watch their mail for any correspondence from that company.
Your tax dollars are helping pay for more than 100 commercial airline flights a day to some of the nation's smallest communities. It's part of the Essential Air Service program. However, many of those flights have few passengers and has critics asking what, if anything, is actually essential. A small portion of the program funds flights inside Alaska as well. Congress has increased the requirements to participate in the Essential Air Service program and capped the number of routes, but all efforts to end the program have failed to gain traction on Capitol Hill.
If you travel on the west side of Fargo on I-94, you have likely seen the huge Sanford Medical Center under construction. Today, we got a sneak peek inside. 3 restaurants will be on the first floor, as well as X-ray services and the emergency center. Second and third floors are going to have operating rooms and clinic exam rooms. Fourth floor isn't open to the public. It will be used for the helicopter to land. New parents or those with children in the hospital will find themselves on the 9th and 10th floors. Officials say on all the floors they'll have 2 major areas dubbed onstage and offstage.
Onstage is where patients, families, and visitors have access to. Behind stage or backstage is really where employees and a lot of our facility services, things will move around so that there's a separation between a lot of the things you typically see today in regard to the mixture of we're doing our business, we're moving carts, rather than behind the scenes, rather than where patients and families are.
The main entrance faces south and the elevators are at the center of the building. It's set to open in 2017.
The USDA wants you to consider the impact on the environment before choosing what to eat, especially when it comes to red meat. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's dietary guidelines recommend a diet with more fruit and vegetables, which has many in the beef industry in the Valley rather concerned.
Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop looks into what these environmental concerns are and how this could impact your child's school lunch.
The environmental concerns that comes with eating less meat is due to animals such as cows releasing gas into the environment, and also meat producers using gases to get their feed to farm and their items to market. The USDA's preliminary report recommends eating a higher plant-based diet, but some have a beef with that.
It actually eliminates the recommendation of lean meats in the diet. And we're also concerned about the process that this advisory group had used in order to make these recommendations, basing some of their decisions on sustainability when the folks that were part of this group are not sustainability experts.
Here at the NDSU Beef Cattle Research Center, a professor tells me that he thinks that this dietary guidelines have more to do with political policy than actual science.
Because this policy here and this attempt at providing recommendations for what we eat and the sustainability for what we eat is not being driven by science. It's really being driven by politics, and that's not a good place to go.
If the final decision of eating less meat is made, it could impact dietary requirements for school lunches. Fargo Public Schools Director of Nutrition Services says they serve beef in the schools about 2 times each week.
I think what USDA is really focusing on obesity. So they've limited a lot of areas, but we serve salad bars at all our schools, so the thought is you can take as much fruit and vegetables as you want.
The USDA and Department of Health would finalize the recommendations later this year. In Fargo, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
The recommendations also say Americans are consuming too much salt, added sugars, and foods high in saturated fats. To read the recommendations, just click on this story on valleynewslive.com.
Tonight on Valley News Live 10 at 10, we're going to look at seeing if the businesses with the worst violations in the past months have cleaned up their act. That's in this week's Restaurant Report Card. And remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day.
Well, coming up later on Valley News Live at 6, find out the new plans for the Ponderosa Golf Course.
And north winds ushering cooler air in. We did hit 32 degrees at 4 o'clock this morning. Cold air is back into the valley. I'll have details on how long it stays next.